unto her that her warfare is accomplished, and her iniquity is pardoned, that her iniquity is pardoned. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Welcome, friends, to the Thursday thing. It's wonderful to have you on board for this All the Way to Bethlehem Advent series. Last week we started this and we talked about the pilgrimage to Bethlehem. We talked about leaving home. We talked about leaving the comfortable. We talked about going to strange new places. And today, I want to sing about surprises. And my wonderful guest today has some surprises to tell us about. Surprises. Mary was surprised. Can you imagine? Joseph was surprised. Elizabeth was surprised. Zechariah was surprised. The shepherds were surprised. Surprises all around because Advent and Christmas are all about disruption. Disruption of your routine, disruption of your ordinary life. And goodness gracious, do we know something these days about disruption in the year 2020? I wonder how many people who are watching this broadcast have lost a job, or who have not been able to gather with family at family occasions, have not been able to do so many things that you ordinarily do, things that you just take as a matter of course. So this is all about disruption and surprise. Try this. So many things are happening to me that I don't understand. Visions and angels and a baby named Jesus. It's not what I planned. You know, the plans I have made are like birds' nests blown down in the wind and the rain. I'm scattered like straw, and I can't quite tell where to find saneness again. Saneness again. So I'll go tell Elizabeth. She'll understand. Tell my cousin Elizabeth. She'll hold my hand. She'll understand. Go talk to Joseph. Well, I've talked to Joseph, but Joseph's a man. So many things that a woman can know that a man never can. Do I hear an amen? Joseph is practical, Joseph is worried with things of his own. And talking to Joseph is sometimes no better than being alone. Being alone. So I'll go tell Elizabeth, 'cause she'll understand. Tell my cousin Elizabeth, she'll hold my hand, she'll understand. Sometimes I wish I could wake to discover this all was a dream. I ought to be shouting for joy, but I'm coming apart at the seams. Mostly I'm quiet, I keep things inside me, it's how I get by. But there's too much to handle, and I need someone near me to share a good cry. To share a good cry. So many things are happening to me that she'll understand. Because now that she's pregnant, her life isn't going exactly as planned. The plans we both made were scattered. We both made are scattered like, and we don't know where to find saneness again. Saneness again. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'll hold your hand. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'll understand. I'll take your hand. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'll understand. I'm coming. Oh dear, it's almost comical. Just when you think this is a song I've done 1,000 times, I know every word, I know where everything works, until it doesn't, until you forget the words. That's a minor disruption. You know, I just got to tell you, week after week after week, I practice, I prepare, I vocalize, I sing for about an hour in the morning in the car, week after week. And sometimes it really works until it doesn't. So I just got to tell you, this is me forgetting the words, and we go on. I don't know what Elizabeth and Mary talked about in the time that they were together. Probably a lot about babies and a lot about how you care about babies. If this were modern times, I'm sure they would spend a lot of time around the table with coffee. We long, don't we, for days when we can sit with a friend with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or a sandwich or whatever and just talk about stuff. Gripe about our kids, gripe about our spouse, gripe about the house, gripe about our church, gripe about the business, or gripe about this and that, and then talk about, things that bind us together and be able to watch each other's faces and maybe have that hug at the end of a time together. Well, can't do that now, can we? And I think if Elizabeth and Mary had been modern women, they would have spent lots of time around the coffee pot like this. Well, come on, my friend, it's coffee time again. While the world is rushing to its judgment day. We'll take some time and we'll try to find the rhyme. And if it gets too hard, we'll laugh the time away. Well, I know you say you're busy, but the pace can make you dizzy. And your heart attack is just around the bend, Come and leave it all behind you, 'cause the craziness can blind you. And besides all that, I sure do need a friend. There'll be time enough to fight the windmills and all the battles that never seem to end. So from now till quarter after, it's a cup of love and laughter. So come on, old friend, it's coffee time again. There'll be time enough to fight the windmills and all those battles that never seem to end. So from now till quarter after, or from now till 20 after, or from now till ever after, it's a cup of love and laughter. So come on, old friend, it's coffee time again. Consider our man Joseph. The way we get the story is that he was engaged to Mary, and then she got pregnant, and then they had to go to Bethlehem to be taxed. And in one of the Gospels says he was minded to put her away, minded to let her go hide somewhere until the baby came. But that didn't happen. I don't know, can you trust a dream? Can you trust a vision from an angel? Can you trust that everything's going to be all right? Does it scare you? Does it disrupt your routine? Does it change your life? Does it turn everything around? Do you wonder, what in the world have I gotten myself into now? What is this? And what shall I do? How do I cope with this? What have I come to now? How could I ever know everything's crashing down on me? And I wish I could stop the show. I didn't ask for this. It's more than I bargained for. Everything's moving much too fast. And I don't think I can take much more. I always wanted to stand for the things I believed. Always wanted to do what was right. Yet it seems not to make any difference at all in the loneliness of tonight. Where do I go from here? Can I turn back somehow? And is my conviction worth the price? If nothing is gained by my sacrifice, am I a fool who just won't think twice? And what have I come to now? Sometimes I wonder and wistfully dream of the days gone by. Thinking of people and places that I've left behind me. Sometimes I wonder if I might have chosen some other way. When on this road only trouble compounded I find, oh, pity me. Just pity me. Where do I go from here? Can I turn back somehow? And is my conviction worth the price if nothing is gained by my sacrifice? Am I a fool who just won't think twice? And what have I come to? Where am I going to? What have I come to now? So think about our man Zechariah, father of John the Baptist. Zechariah is a priest, and once a year, he gets to go into the temple and offer the sacrifice of incense. So this is his big day. It's like if you were a seminary-trained preacher and you had been hired by this church as an associate pastor, and for the whole year, you're listening to the senior woman or guy preach, and you say, "Oh man, I wish my time would come. I've got 1,000 ideas about the sermon I want to preach, and I'm all ready." Or you're the student teacher, and you've been listening all year to your senior teacher teach, and you say, "I could do so much better. I know I could. I've got a lesson plan all made up." So Zechariah goes into the temple to offer his sacrifice. And all at once, he is confronted by, the story says, an angel. And he hears a voice, "Zechariah, you're going to have a baby. You and Elizabeth's going to have a baby." Excuse me? This is pretty much impossible. I don't know if you know it or not, but Elizabeth and I are way, 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 way beyond the years of childbearing. Ain't going to be no kids in this family. And then the angel says, "Because you didn't believe me right away, you're going to be struck dumb. You're going to be struck silent for 9 months." But wait a minute. I'm a man of words. I'm a priest. I depend on... And he doesn't say a word for 9 months. What do you suppose happened? For so many of us, there is maybe not a total silence, but there is a kind of silence, isn't there? We can't be with people with whom we normally like to be. Sometimes we spend so much time alone. We are compelled to be silent. What's that like? Teach me to stop and listen. Teach me to center down. Teach me the use of silence. Teach me where peace is found. Teach me to hear love calling. Teach me to search love's word. Teach me to hear in silence things I have never heard. Teach me to be collected. Teach me to be in tune. Teach me to be directed. Silence will end so soon. Then when it's time for moving, grant it that I may bring to every day and moment peace from a silent spring. I am a person of words. It's something I do well. I know how to bless. I know how to care. And know the stories I can tell. Without my words, whatever have I left? What can I be? What will become of me if from words I am bereft? I miss the words I long to speak. They pile up in my brain. If I could speak again, if I could speak again, but I'm struck dumb. write things down. But Lord have mercy, do I miss the words? Help me to be collected. Help me to be in tune. Help me to be directed. Silence will end so soon, I hope. And when it's time for moving, grant it that I may bring to every day and moment peace from a silent spring. I have a squeaky piano bench, and it has been that way for a while. During the week, this past week, I tightened every screw there is. It still squeaks. My guest today has a very special connection with children. And so before I introduce her, I want to sing a song sort of about children, but sort of about a vision and a dream. There's a wonderful passage in Isaiah where Isaiah is imagining the peaceable kingdom, and he says, a little child shall lead them, and the wolf shall lie down with the lamb. And I've set this passage along with some other words, and so I want to sing this before I call upon my wonderful guest of the day. And a little child shall lead them. The lion will lie down with the lamb. And there will be no war nor famine anymore in the land of the great I am. I dreamed I stood before the love of God as it rose across the sea. I felt the vision like a mighty wave, and it was washing over me. I saw the people of this planet, every tribe and every race. Saw them working all together to make the world a friendly place. And a little child shall lead them, and the lion will lie down with the lamb, and there will be no war nor famine anymore in the land of the great I am. I heard the singing of the children in 10,000 city streets. Felt their joy, I heard their laughter, and I could see their dancing feet. I heard the music all around them. There was no sound of bombs or guns, and all the weapons now were plowshares, and all the fighting days were done, and a little child will lead them. The lion will lie down with the lamb. There will be no war nor famine anymore in the land of the great I am. I dreamed we learned to face our shadows, to face our fear of the unknown. I dreamed we learned to tell our secrets to each other when we could see the morning sun. Some say the dreaming may be foolish. There will not be a better day. That's what some people say. Without a vision, people perish. Help me dream a better way. And a little child shall lead them, and the lion will lie down with the lamb, and there will be no war nor famine anymore. The land of the great I am. Hush-a-bye, don't you cry. Go to sleep, my little baby. Baby sleeps, mama weeps. Go to sleep, my little baby. Comes the day, it comes your way. You will find your place and calling. But tonight, it's all right. Now to sleep you're gently falling. My guest is a part of a family I've known for quite some time now. We have met at a number of gatherings. I've been at their church. Vera Ayres has a very, very special kind of ministry and passion. She loves children, and she and her family have done some amazing work with children at the ranch that they have just outside of Austin. And I'm going to ask Vera Ayres to come and be welcomed on this Thursday thing. Vera, are you here?
I am here.
We had some internet issues earlier. It looks like you're here in all of your beauty and glory. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? And that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, we visited a few months ago, actually, when I was in Austin, and we talked about the work that you all are doing with children and the summer camps and all that. So, I would like for you just to tell our people some of the stuff that you're doing, and then we'll get into Christmas plans. But I want to just discover the work that you're into and how you got into working with children, and what are some of the challenges and the rewards of this wonderful work.
Thank you for asking, Ken. What we do here at the Children, Travis County is steward of land that was purchased by my grandfather in 1938, and we have subsequently put the majority of the ranch into conservation easements. And so our work has been over the last 30 years, really learning the land and conserving the land. And a part of as we deepened our love for the land, that we decided, it was in that time that we decided that we really wanted to share the gift that had been given to us in growing up close to nature to children that would otherwise not have the opportunity to go to summer camp.
Yes, yes, yes.
So 15 years ago, we started a residential high adventure summer camp. It's a nature immersion camp for children 4th grade through high school.
And how many kids would you have in a given camp session?
Well, we have in a summer, we serve about 100 children, but in each session, we have a small number. The younger children have about 24, 25, and the older high school students are around 20 of them together. We do that because we learned over time that what we really were finding was it was the community that was being built within those relationships as children were in the uniqueness of creation and close to the earth, that their connection to one another was a lot deeper.
Mm-hmm. Are a lot of these kids are kids who would not normally then have a chance to be out in nature? They're a lot of inner city kids.
A lot of first generation children, immigrant children.
What kinds of reactions do you get from kids when they are in this whole new environment?
Well, there's so much wonder and curiosity. I think children just bring that to their experiences. So the first night, I would tell you that the first night in the tents, the children are amazed at how loud it is because there's crickets and owls and birds. And so I think wonder and creativity and just a settling, your song reminded me of that. Just a lot of what we try to teach the children is to be comfortable in nature and to be able to listen and be still, enjoy the quiet.
So you have some Christmas plans for kids this year?
We do. Our surprise, I loved your topic tonight, is that we have been surprised that COVID has provided us such a rich opportunity to connect with our kiddos and their families. A lot of our kids have been in camp with us for their whole lives. We have kids that come through 4th grade all the way up through and are now in our leadership. So we just have had more opportunities than we ever have to serve our families by providing meals and grocery money and opportunities to be on the ranch socially distanced as families, not just as campers. So that's been kind of the surprise to us, is just that we've been able to broaden that relationship with the family. So we'll be having a drive-by winter celebration where the kids will come with their families and be able to receive ingredients for a meal to make together and some other tips for being in nature during the holidays and experiences they can share together.
So you're a person who had lots of choices in terms of what you wanted to do with your life. And you chose the land, and you also chose children. Why the interest in children? Well, how did this show up?
I think it showed up in being a mother. And I have 4 grown children, and I was at a place when I began having children that I was really wondering what my life would, where my calling would be. And when I became a mother, I felt like I was my truest self. and that I had really
Yeah.
found my calling.
Yeah.
And it just is that my children and I both benefited so much from being in the wild and being in nature, but that just, really blended beautifully with the work on the ranch.
So if you had a word to say, a lot of families are watching this broadcast, and a lot of
Mm,
people with kids.
mm,
If you had a word to say to families with kids, just an encouraging word, not only about Christmas, but just in terms of life in general, what would be your what would be Vera's message to families
mm.
with kids?
Yeah, I would look for connection, and I would look for connection, ways to be deeply connected, and um, look to opportunities to be in nature and to be still and listen for that voice of God and beauty.
Well, I hope your drive-by um, Christmas party is a really walloping success.
You're so
And,
kind.
and we will look forward to being together again. We have some plans in the works to do a big fundraiser event as soon as COVID will let us.
Yes.
We've got some wonderful stuff coming up. Vera, I thank you for
Oh,
being with me this afternoon. It's been a pleasure.
oh, the pleasure is all mine. Oh,
And I wish you the very, very best of everything in all the work that you're doing.
thank you, Ken.
Take me outside. Let me see the stars. Take me outside and let me feel the night. Look out the window, watch life passing by. Take me outside, let me dig in the dirt. Let me hear the crickets. Let me stand still for a moment, feeling the wonder, hearing the small sounds. Take me outside, let me feel the silence. Take me outside, stand with me a while. Put away the phone. Take me outside. This is a way to love me. And if there's no outside to go to, then help me imagine. Tell me a story. Help me imagine what it would be like to go outside and listen to the night. This coming Sunday, my wife, Jane, who is an ordained minister, is preaching at our church. And she's doing a sermon on Zechariah, whom we talked about earlier. The notion being that if you're old and you're going to have children, you better quickly figure out how to become young at heart. Because children are going to be very, very demanding. And it's young people or people who are young at heart who have the flexibility to go with the moment, who have the flexibility to change when change is needed, who have the flexibility to deal with surprising things, with unexpected consequences. And so I think maybe Christmas and our whole emphasis on the birthing of children wants us to be young again, wants us to be at least young at heart. Huh? Climbing in the treetops, running down the shore, lover of the children, make me young once more. Vigorous and daring, teachable and mild, lover of the children, make me like a child. Trusting to your goodness, walking where you lead, lover of the children, make me young indeed. Trusting, fearing not tomorrow, trusting you today. Lover of the children, make me young, I pray. Make me young enough to know that alone I cannot go through the darkness of the night. Young enough to see that your love will never let me go. Make me open to surprise, put a wonder in my eyes, make my vision clear and bright. Make me willing to be led and follow where you bid me go. Follow where you bid me go. Fearing not tomorrow, trusting you today. Lover of the children, make me young, I If you would like to help make this work happen week after week after week, I'm going to invite you to make a contribution to Interlude. Interlude is our nonprofit 501c3. We do several things. We have retreats for church musicians in the summer, and I get letters all year long saying this retreat really, saved my life. Especially now when church musicians are at a bit of a loss as to what to do because so much of what they do depends on being live, interacting with choirs, etc. So they can't do that now. And so everything has changed. Everything has changed. Now, so we do these retreats for musicians. We also do writing conferences for songwriters. We also send me and my music to small churches that have no money. We were in a church in Greenville, Texas several years ago, a little church of 50 people. And they said, we want to do something for our town, but we're little and we have no money. And so Interlude came along and said, okay, you rent the local civic auditorium. We'll put publicity in every newspaper, on every radio and TV station. We'll make a big deal out of it. We'll do a concert to raise funds and raise food for the food pantry. Well, we put 500 people and raised $1,300 for the food pantry. And this little church now has all kinds of confidence in what they can do. So Interlude is sponsoring all of these concerts week after week. Since I'm not traveling, I'm not on the road, Interlude is making all these concerts happen. So we'd love for you to be our partners. I'm thanking especially some of the partners that have been so gracious for helping. Susan in San Antonio, thanks to you. Pat, thanks to you. Glenn, thanks to you. So many people. A special shout out to Tim, who's in the hospital in Oklahoma. Special shout out to Evelyn in Orange County. Thank you. And so many, many others who have already given. If you'd like to be one of our partners, check out interluderetreats.org. Next week, my guest is Brian Johnson, who is the minister of music at the Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago. It's an inner city church that's doing some of the most amazing, amazing, amazing things. Brian is a composer, a songwriter, a singer, a choir director, a musical entrepreneur, a wonderful, wonderful man who's becoming a dear friend over the years. We met at a songwriters conference a few years ago. And so it is that next week we'll be on the journey to Bethlehem together. We will do a program on Christmas Eve. It will be pre-recorded so that we can spend time with our families and stuff at Christmas Eve. But there will be a program. I talked to one of our partners and friends this past week who said, I said, what plans do you have for Christmas? She said, well, I'm going to be alone. I'm working with Parkinson's and some other stuff that's uncomfortable. So I'll be here. I'll be alone. And I said, we're going to have a show on Christmas evening. She said, yay, 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 yay. So next week, our emphasis is, if you could write your own Christmas song, what would it say? You know, would it say, I've been blessed this year because COVID has given me a chance to be closer to the one I love? Or would you say, Christmas has come with a lot of frustration this year, or Christmas has come with changes, or Christmas means more than it has in the last several years because I haven't been able to do the running around shopping that I always do, and I've had more of a chance to be silent? What would your Christmas song say? I want to sing you one more song. It's a song called Here is the One, and it's really all about the one who comes at Christmas. It's been an interesting hour, and I will admit that it's been a bit of a frustration for me because there have been some interesting vocal glitches and a couple of forgetting words, but you are good people, and you know that often happens. I wanted to be honest about that and just say that's life. Sometimes things don't go quite as you thought they would, but they do go. And so this is our final song. Here is the one who has come to give love a name. Here is the one who has come to show the way. Here is the one who gives hope to the hopeless. Here is the one who has come to the dying. Here is the one who has come to give love a name. Here is the one who will bring the good news of peace. Here is Here is the one who will challenge the haughty. Here is the one who will bring the good news of peace. Good news of peace. His words have been spoken time and time again. Yet we will not hear him when he calls to us. His words have been written down in countless books. Yet only a few will ever hear him and follow him. Here is the one whose life will never cease. Here is the one whom death could not contain. Here is the one who makes joy out of sadness. Here is the one who gives hope in the madness. Here is the one whose life will never cease. Here is the one whose life will never cease. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a friend, companion, and partner in this work. I pray that the rest of this Advent season will be really full of blessing and courage and hope and strength for you. Next week, Brian Johnson's my guest. Christmas Eve, we'll do a program that will focus primarily on Christmas carols, and you may want to sing along on some of those. We'll do a bunch of carols next week. If you could write your own Christmas song, what would it sound like? What words would you use to describe your Christmas journey this year? Be well, be safe,